Greetings. Welcome to PinballHelp. Mike here. Today I am working on, this is a solenoid driver board from a Gameplan Sharpshooter 2 machine. I'm in the process of restoring this thing. It's a pretty beat up old game, but I'm trying to get it functional. And I'm slowly kind of carving my way through it, trying to figure out all of the different things that are wrong. And I'm at a point now where I've got the game booted up. Everything seems to be working on it, except a couple of coils are out. I looked inside the game. The coils were burned up, so I replaced the coils. They're still not firing now. So I have reason to believe that when the coils went, they took out some of the driver transistors. Now, one of the transistors on the board was clearly burned, and you can see it's pretty toasty. And anyway, you can see even on the mark on the actual board there. So I knew we had one that was out. Now, one of the problems with these game plan boards and the documentation for these games is there's not very much. Like, I'm looking at the schematics over here, and I had to write a whole bunch of extra notes because Gameplan doesn't clearly identify what the driver transistors are on the board. In fact, it says in the manual, if a coil doesn't work and you replace the coil, get a new solenoid driver board. It doesn't even give you any help. Doesn't to actually do any board level repairs. They expect you to just ship the whole thing and get another board. Obviously that's not practical and it's a waste of resources. So there's several people out there that have kind of augmented the available information so that we can find out exactly what's going on here. Because if you've got a coil out, you need to find out which of the driver transistors, if it's not obvious. Obviously right here, this one was blown. But I've got two coils that are out on the board. I didn't know which of the driver transistors they corresponded to. Now this obviously gave me a clue. This is one of them. So even in the schematics, it doesn't tell you what these components are. It just says, you know, Q17 or Q15 or whatever. But it doesn't tell you that it's a tip 102 transistor, so you have to kind of do your research. And the pre-driver transistors, this is very similar to the Bally boards, so you can use the same components. You can use the same pre and post driver transistors. Now in this game, the pre-drivers are these three integrated circuits right here. This is a CA3081N. It's a transistor array on an integrated circuit that's a 16-pin IC there. Or also known as an NTE916. They go for about anywhere from $3 to $5, depending upon. They're not super easy to find, so they're always a good idea. Now, these are the pre-driver transistors that fire the high-power transistors, which are these down here. These are known as SC9301s or RCA121. But they're tip 102 transistors, which is a common transistor used in a lot of games. So you can get those, and luckily I have a little bit of both. Now, I'm going to show you a trick where you can, if you pull the board, and this also works if you disconnect connector J1, you can use a multimeter to check these transistors to see if there's any one that's out. So I'm going to do that. We're going to run through. Now, there's a couple of things to do. Obviously, if you know you've got coils that are out in the game, you need to find out which coils they identify. So, in the manual, what you get is a coil list. You can go through the self-test, and it'll fire the coil in the game and tell you in the display coil 1, 2, 3, 4. But it doesn't tell you what corresponding driver transistor. I had to look that up in another resource. So coil 1 is Q6, coil 2 is Q16, coil 3 is Q7, coil 4 is Q14. So it's kind of convoluted. So it helps to look this information up, and you can find it in a couple places. Clay's Guides, he has some of this information in there too, and that's really helpful. Okay, so let's check these things to confirm. So I've confirmed that Q17 and Q15 relate to the coils that are out in my game right now. After I replaced the coils, they still wouldn't fire. So now we're looking at the driver transistors on the driver board. So you set your multimeter to diode test right here. And these things have 3 lugs. So you put the black tip on the center of the transistor. See right here. Let's put this right here so you can see. Okay. That's more readable. Okay. So put the black. Now the tab and the center are the same on this. So we can put the black one touching the metal tab, and then we touch the red to either side, and we should get a reading. See, it beeps 0.616 volts. The other side, 0.531. So that's a good reading, anywhere from like 4 to 6 or so, 0.4 to 0.7 or so, and you see it beeps. Now if I touch to the center, that indicates a short. So that's what we want to do. So we can test these in the board too. We can... I've got that desoldering gun fired up, so I'm not going to touch it. And if you see these things in my hand, that was a hot glue gun accident. That stuff's nasty. Amazing I didn't hurt myself with a soldering iron, but it was a hot glue gun. Anyway, so let's test a few of these things. So, you can bend it back a little bit. Put the black in the center, and we hit either side of the tab. See? Beep. Beep. Do this one. Beep. Beep. Okay, let's go over here to Q15, hit the center, beep. That's Q16. Now Q15. I'm getting one. On the left side I get 0.5, but on the right side I'm getting an anomalous reading, 1.006. Leads me to believe that this one's bad. Now, just to check, I'll go around on the underside and just check the underside in case I'm unable to get a good reading. So it's going to be this right here. That's a correct reading, and that is not. Let's go over to another one just to check. Beep, beep. So we can go along here. So those beeps are good. I don't know if you can hear it with the servers in the background, but... Okay, so I'm going to go through and I'm going to check every one of these. So this Q15 here, this one's out of spec. So and interestingly enough, this corresponds to the other missing coil. Now that I know Q15 corresponds to coil number 8, which is the lower pop bumper. So that's where the problem was. So I am going to desolder this guy, and I'm going to put 2 new tip 102 transistors in, and then we're going to see if that's going to fix the problem. But I'm also going to check these pre-driver transistors too. So stick around for more, but this is an easy way to test these transistors on the board, these tip 102s. Black lead to the middle or the tab, and then a red lead to either side, and you should be able to get a good reading, and you can check to make sure that they're okay. So thanks for watching. For more, visit PinballHelp.com. Catch me on Twitter at PinballHelp, and Reddit /r/PinballHelp. Thanks for watching.